Alright, welcome to Old World Gaming. So, this is a bit of an impromptu battle report. If you saw a post I put out a couple of days ago, I've just painted this castle up. I've got it's my 40th birthday next month, September. So I've got my best mates coming over. I live in Wales. My friends live in East Sussex, so they're making the trip over to Wales to come and see me for my birthday, and we're going to do a bit of an old world campaign with our new armies, basically. I say our new armies, our old armies with new rules, and finally painted. We've all spent lots of time painting up our models this year, so we can have a fun campaign, and I'm planning to do a couple of battle reports as we go. So, in order to prepare for that, painted up my castle, which has been sitting in my attic for a very long time. Like, I bought it in the early 2000s, and yeah, it's about time it finally got built and had some love. So I've spent the last few days putting that together, painting it up, and yeah, just enjoying the process really. And also, I have a siege tower as well, which I built again 20 years ago. Never used. Just looked at longingly, lots, waiting for the day when it finally gets used. So I've sprayed that up, and given that, I gave it a quick dry brush of brown for this game. So this game came about because my siege tower was sitting on my desk. My 5-year-old was playing with it. It was like, Dad, we need to play some Warhammer with this. I was like, okay, let's do it. So this is a battle report, which is me and my 5-year-old having some fun, playing with some Warhammer, and playing with castles and siege towers. So that's how this came about. So I also quickly painted up some ladders as well, sprayed them and chucked some brown on them just for this game. So that's probably how they'll stay forever. But like the siege tower as well, maybe, who knows. So anyway, so we've here we are. Here's our game. We decided to use Orcs versus Dwarves, just because those are I don't know, they just felt like the right things to be using. And my son was the Orcs, and I was the Dwarves. So yeah, here we go. Here's my siege tower. Like I say, this was like a just quick 5-minute dry brush of brown over black, just to give us something to use for this game. Ideally, my plan was to paint it properly, but now that it's got that on, that may be enough for a game. I'm pretty sure I've got other things that I need to be painting up, so yeah, it'll do for now. So you can see he's got a giant, he's got a pump wagon, he's got this siege tower with some black orcs, got a doom diver, bolt thrower over this side, a couple of rock lubbers, a unit of orcs, excitedly wielding their ladders, racing towards the castle. I mean, what more could you want, right? If you've, I mean, I've wanted to play a siege game for a very long time, where I decided to use 6th edition siege rules. I don't know if the old world actually has any siege rules. It's got some basic, like how to fight in buildings or how to use buildings. I vaguely recollect looking at them when I was reading through, but they certainly weren't siege rules. And I can't remember if 7th or 8th edition had siege rules. 6th edition is the only ones that I've played before. I did have a siege game back when I was a teenager at the Eastbourne Games Workshop, and yeah, that was fun. So 6th edition rules are the only ones I know of, but I'm sure you can tell me in the comments if there's anything in 7th or 8th edition, but I don't remember them. I know the General's Compendium, which I love. The General's Compendium came out with a whole bunch of ways to do like sieges and raids and sacking cities and stuff like that. So I'll probably use some inspiration from that for our campaign. But anyway, on to the battle report. So where are we? So yeah, that's his army nicely arrayed there. So with the siege tower. Oh yeah, and there's a unit of orc archers at the top, and the tower's being pushed along by a unit of black orcs. So there we go. And then on the dwarven side, we've got these rangers here protecting that. Got a couple of organ guns on top of these towers. Unit of thunderers there. There's another unit of crossbowmen there, and on the top of that tower is a cannon, and then you can see the city behind. So yeah, just a couple of basic armies. Didn't work out points from. There are no army lists. This is just some stuff on a board so that me and my 5-year-old can have a go at playing castles and sieges and fun stuff. So there we go. So this is the setup. I mean, you can see from the other photos that we just looked at. So deployed, yeah, thus, and that's our first shot of the top view, so you can see what's going on. Right, so in the siege scenario in the 6th edition rules, defenders got first turn. So I essentially spent my first turn shooting with all my weapons at the Orc army to varying degrees of success. So the Rangers and the Organ gun both shot at the archers in the tower, managed to kill a whole bunch of them. The Thunderers shot at the Giant, took a couple of wounds off of him. This Organ gun blew up, just like actually blew up, and killed all the crew, and yeah, so they're all dead. The crossbowmen took out an Orc, and the cannon misfired as well, but only killed one crew member, and just will take another turn to reload. So yeah, I don't know if that was particularly successful really. I killed some archers and an Orc, and an organ gun and a cannon crew. So yeah, swings and roundabouts. In the Orc turn, needless to say, the Orcs just pelted forward as fast as they could. A siege tower is particularly unwieldy. They can't march. They can just push it forward slowly, but they can charge and do a normal charge move. The Giant racing forwards much faster than anything else, and the Snotlings frantically trying to keep up. They didn't roll particularly far. I think they only went in 7 compared to the Giant, who can move 12. But there we go. The Orcs very excitedly rushing towards the castle as fast as their legs would carry them, with their ladders eager to put those up against the castle wall. In the meantime, we've got the Bolt Thrower and the Doom Diver shooting at the Rangers. They managed to kill a couple. You can't see them on this shot actually, but there's a couple of dead guys on the far end. Doom Diver got a direct hit over 5 guys, but I think I only managed to kill 2 in the end. But still, it was very good. I've not used a Doom Diver in the new rules before this, and it just works like a rock lobber now, which is very good. A rock lobber that can steer. Last time I used a Doom Diver, and it was 6th edition, they didn't kill much because they didn't have like a blast template that I can recall. I think they had to actually hit the target and then just did a bunch of multiple wounds. I'm trying to remember now, but it was something along those lines. But now they do a full-on. They're just a rock lobber that can adjust its distance. So strength 8, full-on 3-inch blast template. They're really, really good. So yeah, I rate them, and I do have I've probably got 3 Doom Divers. Only one painted. I've got 1 built but not painted, and 1 just in pieces. So yeah, I may have to get those out and add them into the Goblin army. What else we got? Oh yes, this rock lobber misfired. You can just about see a little misfire. Killed one of the crew, and will take a while to repair. And this one just missed. Didn't do anything. There we go. So yeah, not much death on this turn, but lots of movement towards the castle walls, which is what everybody wants. Okay, return fire from the Dwarves. They managed to finish off most of the archer unit. They did do a bunch of wounds on the siege tower. Now in 6th edition, siege towers have 4 wounds, which to my mind is measly. Strength 7, 4 wounds. I couldn't see any armor save on there. Like, that can get taken out with 1 cannon. If you're playing a siege, the last thing you want is first or even second turn of the game, just the tower being shot to smithereens. It's like the centerpiece of the game. So I gave it 10 wounds. Also, I noticed in 6th edition it's a lot harder to wound than it is in Old World, so you had to be at least Strength 4 to damage Toughness 7. In Old World, you can damage Toughness 7 with Strength 2, so they've like doubled the reach of your 6s, if you like. On a to wound chart, the wound chart has more or less stayed the same for ages. So long as your strength is equal to your opponent's toughness, it's a 4+, and then for every one higher you are, it gets easier by 1 until you hit 2s, and then it's just 2s all the way down. And then for each one harder, let me think about this. Each 1 point tougher your opponent is than you are strong, it gets 1 harder. So 5s and then 6s. Now it used to be that there were 2 rows of 6s, so it could be if it was 2 harder, if there were 2 tougher than you were strong, it was 6, and if there were 3 tougher, you could still hit them on, you still win them on 6s, and then that was as far as it stretched. Whereas now there's four rows of 6s, if you like, 4 columns of 6s. However you want to imagine that. So same strength is 4s, then being 1 tougher is 5, 2 tougher is 6s, and then 3, 4, and 5 tougher is still 6s. So yeah, strength 2 can still wound, toughness 7 on 6s. So there you go. So it's a lot easier to wound stuff. So I feel like it is justified moving it up from 4 wounds to 10 wounds. It feels better. Like it should take a few cannon shots to destroy one of these, because I can imagine a cannonball going, like, sure, it'll go in one side and out the other, but it's not going to obliterate, it's not going to explode from a cannonball, at least in my imaginations anyway. So there we go. 10 wounds is what it's got. Not anymore though, it's down to 7. Killed another couple of orcs, and that was about it. I don't think did any damage to the giant that turn. It's really hard to wound a giant because they're toughness 6. I feel like they might have been, used to be toughness 5. But yeah, toughness 6 is really good. So still 6s, that's very good, even though they basically got no armor. Cool, there we go. So dwarves returning fire. This was their last round before the real combat started. On this turn, everything charged, apart from the snotlings lagging behind. Didn't manage to get in, pumping away. I didn't put the arrows on this shot. They turn up later on. The orcs immediately put their ladders on the wall, started pouring over. The black orcs slammed down the drawbridge and started pelting across. Yeah, there they are. Yeah, running over. I got lots of shots of these guys getting onto the walls. It's just the coolest thing. Like finally using a siege tower, finally getting the castle out, and just having a load of fun. So yeah, so only 2 guys are allowed to fight from a siege tower. Again, this is 6th edition rules. I don't know if there's another set of rules to use, so this is what I'm going by. In 6th edition, only 2 guys are allowed to move onto the battlements per turn. However, because they're in a siege tower, the dwarves don't count as having a defended obstacle like they do from climbing with the ladders. So these guys have actually got a very good fight on their hands, particularly as they've got the general here, old One Eye. So the Black Orc war boss into the fray, and in Siege, the combat resolution is literally just wounds. There's no banners, no ranks, no nothing. It's literally just who did the most wounds to win the combat. And when you've got a Black Orc war boss here, it's quite easy to tell that the Black Orcs are going to win this fight, which they did. And there we go. Yes, so killed a whole bunch of rangers and promptly made them fled, which was unexpected. I rolled 11 for their break test, because you get, again, not only is it just wounds to find out who wins combat, but again, this is 6th edition siege rules, the leadership test is unmodified. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens if I would imagine for Old World they will bring out siege rules for. I'm expecting a Siege of Prague expansion. What do you call it? Supplement for the the old world to come out at some point, and I would expect them to have siege rules in there. So we'll see what rules they come up with. But until then, I'll just have to use an old edition. But yeah, so there we go. So the Rangers pegged it, and I let the Orcs overrun. So it's not on this. I didn't took this photo too soon, but the Orcs overrun into the organ gun. The giant started smashing down the door. It's a really interesting set of rules for damaging the gate. You have to add their strength and their attacks together. So there's no, you automatically hit a castle, and you get one actual attack, but it's all of your hits and your strength combined. So you roll your hits. I would just use the swing with club, because you're not exactly going to try jumping up and down on it. So just use the swing with club, which gives you d6 plus 1 attack, so strength plus 1. He rolled a 6, strength plus 1 is 7, so he got 11 to damage the gate. There's a chart that you, in 6th edition, if you've got it, maybe I'll put a shot up. In fact, I definitely will when we do the proper battle report with proper armies and proper rules. I'll do photos of all of the rules references that I'm using in the 6th edition book, just like I do for normal battle reports, where I lay out the scenarios and all the stuff. I'll do that properly. But suffice to say, the more you attack the gate, the easier it gets to damage the gate next time. So he ended up with a +1 modifier for the next time he hits the gate, for it to break, basically. So there we go. So he's just sitting there smashing away with his club. He's rather tall, actually. He will not fit through that door without ducking. But there we go, he is a giant. The Orcs, on the other hand, climbing up their ladders. So you can, with the way that ladders work, you need four guys to carry a ladder. How many were in that unit? Was that 24 in that unit? So they could have had, what's that, six ladders. So they had 4 ladders. For each ladder in the unit, 1 guy is allowed to climb up to the top of the ladder. So yeah, they could have had 6 ladders. I will probably make some ladders and do a video making ladders. These are from the Uruk-hai siege teams from Lord of the Rings. I've got an Uruk-hai army in a box somewhere, and so I nicked their ladders and quickly painted them up. So yeah, I need to make some more ladders for our siege, because I've got 1 siege tower. I'm not going to have enough time to make any more siege towers. It would be quite cool to make siege towers, but I'm not going to do that. But I'm pretty sure I can manage to make some ladders. So yeah, I'll do a video making and painting some ladders in case people are interested. But for now, these guys have got 4 ladders. So 4 guys can climb up to the top. Now when you're attacking with ladders, you are hitting on 6s, because essentially you're standing at the top of the ladder, leaning over, trying to hit, and they're just trying to push you off the wall. So for that combat, they did. Let's have a look. Yeah, so the Dwarves killed 1, and the Orcs killed a Dwarf as well. So it's actually a drawn combat. I don't know if I've had a drawn combat in Old World before, so I had to look that up. But in a drawn combat, you'd literally just stay locked in combat. No one moves anywhere. There's no break tests. So yeah, there we go. So drawn combat, they just carry on fighting next turn. Yes, that is all of the things. So we go, and the siege is in full swing at this point. Everyone's having a go. Oh, yeah, there we go, all the arrows. Oh, he also did some shooting as well. Yes, the bolt thrower shot at that and didn't do anything. The Doom Diver tried to shoot the cannon, also didn't do anything. This one wasn't able to shoot, and this one missed as well. So we go. Yeah, it was a pretty uneventful shooting turn for these guys. I think we forgot about this Orc up there, but I'm sure he's just enjoying watching what's going on down below. Cool. All right. So the Dwarf Rangers running away with the Orcs in the background, making, I don't know, causing havoc like they do. The Dwarves actually rallied. in the dwarf turn. What's this? This is just the end of that turn still. Cool. Right, there we go. So next turn, looks like I haven't shown the shooting phase just yet, but there we go. Fine. The dwarves did so much better this time. They killed 4 orcs, and because the attackers are striking last in this combat, because these guys are behind a defensive obstacle. So yes, the dwarves got to go first, killed 3 guys, which means the orc didn't actually manage to kill anyone, I don't think, but they also didn't run away. The dwarves turned round and shot some black orcs. I don't even remember the order of which these things are done. They definitely shot a couple of guys, but also he was in there killing them. Don't ask. I'm playing with a 5-year-old. No one questions things. But we decided that because there's just one trapdoor in the middle, the war boss could come through that, and I mean, he's a war boss against a cannon crew. He sorted them out without any difficulty whatsoever. I don't remember how this guy died, but he did. I guess he must have been shot by someone from over there. Oh yes, look at this! You see the pump wagon on its side. The pump wagon smashed into the gate. So in the 6th edition rules, it says you can't like charge chariots and stuff into castle walls and gates because they'll get destroyed. But we figured snotlings wouldn't care either way. 1, they probably wouldn't realise that was going to happen, and 2, even if they did, they wouldn't care. So they just like smashed straight into the castle, which did a couple of made the giant's next attack easier by 2 points. So they helped, and then just like fell about laughing amidst the wreckage of their pump wagon. So they had a jolly good time, I'm sure. Yep, we just looked at that. What else have we got going on? That's more or less it, I think. So, what have we got over there? No, just more pictures of all the things. Okay, so on the next turn, the orcs have made it through into the Thunderers, and I can't remember the combat result there, but here they are, like hacking away. What have we got? This is... Oh yes, they managed to... the orc rock clubbers managed to destroy the cannon finally. And that was all. Maybe they killed this guy as well, probably. With... I can't remember if it was a bolt thrower or a... or whatever it's called, Doom Diver. Okay, and that's the end of the orcs' turn, I'm pretty sure. Let's have a look. Oh no, it is not. Okay, the last thing that happened in this turn, you can see the giant is here, and then he is there. He managed to smash through because the pump wagon smashed into the door. They gave it exactly the amount of damage that the giant needed to smash the door in. You have to roll like a 16, I think it is, and he was getting +3, I think, no, +4 to his roll, so he managed to get his strength on his club, plus his attacks, plus the additional 4 damage that had already been done to the door, and managed to smash through and make it into the castle. And ready to rampage through the city. And obviously the Black Orcs have done a good job taking out everything that's on the wall. And at this point, my son decided he wanted to go and play Worms on the Wii. But there we go. So that was the end of the battle. The giant did the business getting through the door. The Black Orcs on their siege tower have managed to successfully get rid of the rangers, destroy that organ gun, and are working their way through these thunderers. The cannon's destroyed, the organ gun's destroyed, but these orcs are having a little bit of trouble trying to get up onto the crossbowmen. So there we go. So that was the game that played at the weekend. It was a lot of fun. And I actually learnt quite a bit about the rules that I'm planning on using. Definitely need more ladders. It's going to be really hard. Those crossbowmen, now they are dwarves, of course, but those crossbowmen managed to do a good job. Like, this is a big old block of orcs, a good job at fending them off. So it's going to be really tough. I need to think about what kind of units to take to try and scale these walls. Ladders don't reach up to towers, so it's just wall sections. But you should be able to get a couple of units scaling these walls, maybe. I don't know. It's going to be really tough. I'm not quite sure what kind of troops do you want. I don't know if... I think you want troops that get a lot of attacks. But because you're hitting on 6s, they don't have to be... like, they don't have to have a high weapon skill. You just want as many attacks as possible, I think. But I'm not too sure about that. If anyone has played any sieges, got any experience with sieges, let me know. But I think this is going to be a really hard game when we actually get round to it. And I don't want to give too many spoilers about it, because it's going to be a bit of a narrative campaign. And who knows, my mates may actually watch this battle report, so I don't want to give too many spoilers. Yeah, so this was a fun little taste of what it's going to be like when we do the siege. The idea behind the siege is it's going to be a four-player game. We're going to have quite a lot of points. Maybe, like, I don't know, somewhere between... Because the defenders have got such a massive advantage having the castle, they're probably going to get about 1,000 points each. So that means, like, for the attackers, we could be in the order of like 2,000 points each. Could be like a 4,000 point game for the attackers, and 2,000. I don't know. I don't even know. Have to work these things out. 2,000 points might be a bit much for the defenders. We'll have to see. So yeah, so these are the kind of things I'm having to think about. Our campaign is Bretonnians and High Elves against Orcs and Goblins, or mainly Goblins, it's just my Goblin force, and a Chaos force. The idea being that it's an incursion into Bretonnia with the High Elves who are kind of roaming around in that kind of area anyway. So yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. Should be a lot of fun, and I will let you know, and I'll do some battle reports, and I'll keep you updated as I paint things that need to be painted for it. So it gives me a good incentive to get stuff done. But there we are. That's my first siege game in I say in the old world. Yeah, old world stats and some 6th edition rules to keep us going. There we are. Hopefully that was interesting. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.